This Raw both started and ended with chaos. The chaos at the beginning was very angry. The chaos at the end was really surprising and also very celebratory. These are my assorted thoughts on the March 3rd, 2025 WWE RAW. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. From Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications for all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, WWE Premium Live Event, prediction and review videos, wrestling opinion pieces, and of course, assorted thoughts on SmackDown and Raw. Now, I'm recording this the 5th of March. It's Wednesday. It's just after 6 p.m. Eastern. I've already recorded the with Mike William the Elimination Chamber review, which is going to go up after I finish recording this one. Long story, then this will show up sometime after that. Anyways, Elimination Chamber was incredibly exciting, but really surprising ending at the end. And that sort of chaotic road to WrestleMania feel continued with this show. We're going to get to what happened at the end, the big headline, but first we're going to start at the beginning. After the recap and the people arriving, we see CM Punk arrive, and he is not in a good mood. He comes right out. He's still a babyface, still a huge favorite, so he's slapping people's hands on the way down to the ring, but he gets on the announce table. No, isn't it great to be alive in Buffalo on a Monday night? Total warpath, nuclear CM Punk. He asked McAfee and Cole and the crowd who he should go after first. They said the final boss, The Rock. He went after The Rock, went after John Cena, called them together a bunch of bald frauds, made fun of The Rock's goosebumps, the goosebumps thing, like completely like, I mean, obviously it's allowed, but I think I don't think he had a script, but he definitely went off script for that one. I don't know how The Rock's going to take to that. He just laid waste to both of them. And then he went into Seth Rollins a little bit because Seth Rollins is the one who's actually there, who's going to fight. No time wasted. Rollins' music hit. Punk runs for him. Rollins runs. They're fighting. There's pull apart. Right? You could really feel it. It was very visceral, very believable. You could tell they wanted to claw each other apart. Eventually, even the show went to commercial, and during commercial break, we got to see more of the fight. And at one point, there was this guy trying to take a selfie with angry CM Punk, from behind. I mean, I guess Punk isn't allowed to clock random fans, but if I were him, I would want to do that. Anyways, but the guy got 2 selfies actually. Yeah, more power to you, man. And later in the night, for some inexplicable reason, Punk and Rollins were being led down 2 hallways that met. So they got into it again, and we're getting a cage match between Punk and Rollins next week at Madison Square Garden. Now, yeah, that's a little bit of a big thing for a random Raw, but it's not random. It's Madison Square Garden, road to WrestleMania. Also, I'm pretty sure that this is how Roman Reigns is going to return, and we're either going to maybe Punk did say that he hasn't exhausted he implied he hadn't exhausted all of his routes to the main event of WrestleMania. If he's in a triple threat with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, because it's Reigns, that potentially could be a night 1 main event. I mean, I think there's other candidates for it, but he might end up there as well too. And I'm glad that it's not just going to be Punk and Rollins, because they had their blood feud, but they had kind of settled that one, and it seems more like Rollins is the one who wants it. I'll be fine with what they do, but specifically talking about the promo and the intro to the show, this is exactly what this show needed. This is exactly what CM Punk, the character, needed after being screwed over at the last minute in the Elimination Chamber. And the take no prisoners thing, it was total chaos. It was wild. It was a reminder that, yes, John Cena just turned heel. That's groundbreaking. But you know what? Raw is not going to be boring. Raw is not just going to be, build. It's going to be wild. And it started while it started in the perfect way. And yes, while I do like snarky CM Punk, angry CM Punk, angry, bitter, but still pointed CM Punk is a thing to behold. Excellent start to the show and an excellent match to end the show. Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World Championship against Iyo Sky. 2 women who are at the top of their game and who apparently work very well together. This was a really exciting match to watch. I was into it. It's a lot of back and forth. Just by watching it, you couldn't exactly tell who was going to win. I mean, Rhea looked strong at first, but Iyo came in there. Now, despite my preconceptions and what I thought about WrestleMania, And me not going into this thinking Iyo was going to win, but thinking at best it was going to be some sort of a disqualification to set up a triple threat. I was still buying the hope spots when Iyo was outside of the ring, almost going to be counted out, and Bianca, encouraged her to come in, but that set up the whole confrontation between Rhea and Bianca. And Rhea even shoved, she shoved Bianca. Bianca shoved her back. Referee Jessica Carr was very smart in not disqualifying Iyo for something she had nothing to do with. Clearly, it was just they were getting heated. But she did stop she stopped Bianca's involvement, told her to sit down. Back in the ring, Rhea's still taunting Bianca, but she takes her eye off the prize. She's setting up the Riptide, but Iyo Sky counters it, knocks her down, does the over the moonsault, 1, 2, 3, and your new women's world champion, Iyo Sky. I was kind of thinking last week might end with a title change, and it did. I didn't think this week was going to end with an outright title change. I thought either Rhea was going to retain, we do Rhea Bianca, or maybe there was going to be some sort of a no contest or something like that. But no, Iyo Sky is the champion. And at this point, unless I'm pretty sure something's going to happen, maybe Rhea's going to go to Adam Pearce to be like, look, I know that the referee's decision is final, but she should have been disqualified. Could I have a rematch? And eventually the rematch will be at WrestleMania. It'll be a triple threat. But at this point, it's Bianca Belair versus Iyo Sky at WrestleMania. Now, storyline wise, this has a lot of implications for, I think, a potential Bianca Belair heel turn. I wasn't on board for that with that before. I definitely wasn't on board fully after Elimination Chamber, but it's true Jade Cargill couldn't get to where she was in her pod. But maybe she did have something to do with the whole attacker. Maybe Naomi got the blame for it, but she was the one who said that. I don't know, maybe nothing to do with that, but maybe Bianca Belair is going to be a heel. Because if there's a triple threat match, are they going to be all three baby faces? I think you need a heel. And I think if Bianca Belair is the heel, she might very well win. The implications are very interesting, but the fact that they did a world title change in the main event of Raw. Yes, they did a world title change midway through the first Raw on Netflix, but that was the Raw on Netflix premiere. We kind of saw that one coming. This is just a random Raw that started off really fiery and ended really fiery unexpectedly. I'm sure Rhea Ripley's going to be part of WrestleMania. Maybe they'll find a different story for her. Most likely this will become a triple threat, but congratulations to Iyo Sky. That was an excellent match. And congratulations to the booking for really swerving me. And I think my brother was watching with. No one saw this one coming. Good job, WWE. From the less earth-shattering but still fun to watch department, the War Raiders successfully defended their World Tag Team Championships against the Creed Brothers, an American Made. But you know what? Unlike the last match, which was fun for a bit and then ended with a self-inflicted wound, a disqualification, this one was much more enjoyable to watch. I could see a third one between these teams. I don't think it's going to be American Made to take the tag titles off the War Raiders, but I do see the Creed Brothers being tag champs at some point, maybe in the upcoming year, and this match proved why. Big man match, really athletic, very impressive. Glad I saw it. I also enjoyed Ivy Nile versus Lyra Valkyria. Good match. Took a while for the crowd to get into it, but believe me, they did. Exciting. Now, as I expected, Ivy Nile didn't win, although it looked like she might have when Lyra was selling her hurt, I think it was her foot, like she sort of kind of hurt herself, but she still managed to pull off Nightwing and win. I mean, the main point of this is, it's to give Lyra Valkyria more wins under her belt before who knows, maybe she'll end up facing a returning Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, something like that. It's giving her title reign more credibility, so when she ultimately loses it, it'll have been a good inaugural reign with the Women's Intercontinental Championship. As for American Made, well, they lost too, so Master Gable's not going to be too impressed, but I'm glad we got that video of Gable on the road trying to find the secrets of Lucha Libre. I'm pretty sure it's a mask that's in that box. I don't know if it's going to be, the Hulk Hogan style Mr. America mask. It's probably going to have Gable have a flag on it or something like that. Who knows? This might lead to, people have said that Penta's old partner, Rey Fenix, was finally released by AEW. Don't know how quickly he could get into WWE, but that's obviously where he's bound. That could be the resolution of this, or it could be maybe we're going to get Lucha Gable for a while, which I could see that. That could be fun. Gable wearing a mask for like a few months, as long as they don't pull it off too much. Who knows? Maybe they're going to bring, instead of Sami Zayn facing Karrion Kross at WrestleMania, maybe Chad Gable's big challenge is going to be El Generico. And Sami's off with an injury, but El Generico comes back. Google it, kids. If you don't know who El Generico is, it's Sami Zayn, but never officially named that. But yeah, I'm interested to see where this is going. I thought it was going to be a series of vignettes, one with him like climbing up mountains. Who knows? There might be more. We'll see. Gunther versus Otis was, of course, a predictable victory for Gunther, but I'm glad Otis got some spots in there, got a caterpillar and actually hit Gunther with an elbow. I think it's important that you don't just show him completely losing like that. He is a credible person, maybe not credible in terms of beating Gunther, but still it's good. But of course, the obvious result of this was Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, coming in, spearing the ring general. But then we had A-Town Down Under attacking Jey, Gunther standing tall at the end. And later in the show, we had a really emotional promo from Jey Uso, who had, I guess, recovered, made sure Otis was okay. And Kathy Kelly even remarked that he walked out into the Buffalo winter without wearing a shirt. And I want to say that's the second time I've seen him do something like that. At the Raw that I was at in Montreal, the Raw week after WrestleMania, he walked out shirtless into the Montreal winter and then runs into Sami Zayn, who's wearing a shirt, who comes back in. One of my favorite segments or entrances all year because I was there personally. So yeah, Jey Uso has a habit of, going shirtless in cold weather. But, this is more continued build. It's an emotional build for Jey. It's important. I mean, this is a long time, so they're going to have to bring some other people into this. They're going to have to stretch it. When they start hitting Europe, Jey Uso's entrance alone might be enough, and then some Gunther maybe stopping it, so they can maybe go in circles a bit, stay in a bit of a holding pattern, bring other people in. But no, I mean, they're building this again the way they should. I liked how an exchange of someone in the interview position, the Redmond position, and someone in the ring started during commercial break. It started with Braun Breaker being interviewed by Jackie Redmond, and then Finn Balor's music hit and cut back to Balor in the ring. Eventually, Breaker goes down there, fighting all of Judgment Day. Finn gets pulled out at the last minute. I think they might be leading to a multi-man match, maybe triple threat, fatal four-way, something with Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. Maybe involving Finn, AJ Styles, maybe even Logan Paul, or maybe the other members, and maybe some of the other members of Judgment. Probably not the other members of Judgment Day. Not entirely sure, but Finn and Breaker, AJ and Breaker, those are good opponents for Breaker. I kind of want to see Sheamus win the Intercontinental title for the first time ever, but I don't think that's going to happen at WrestleMania. But still, I'm interested to see where they're going with this. We got Ludwig Kaiser in a suit. We got Penta in his version of a suit, and we got a suited pull-apart. So obviously they're continuing Kaiser and Penta. Maybe Pete Dunne's not part of it anymore. Maybe do some more matches like that, but I still think this is kind of a holding pattern thing. I'm not sure where. I don't know if Penta's going to end up versus Kaiser at WrestleMania. I think they're maybe going in different directions, or maybe involved in a larger thing with the Intercontinental title. Maybe they'll be part of a multi-man match. Who knows? And these were my assorted thoughts on the March 3rd, 2025 WWE RAW. That is Raw from the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York, my second favorite city after Montreal, where I live. Long story. I enjoyed this Raw. I thought it was, as I said, it started off chaotic. It ended chaotic. Very exciting, very surprising. Raw is becoming must-watch TV. Do you agree with my assorted thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. I'll be back with my assorted thoughts on SmackDown. For Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.